Yeah, that's very good. Yes.
I think we're waiting for a few more people. We'll just going to check how many people are there already live. Do we have a sense? 32 people are live. Okay, so I think more people are joining in. Thank you for joining us. Just wanted to give a little bit of context. My name is Ronnie Screwvala.
I'm Mayank Kumar.
So a little bit about the Swades Foundation that has given you the scholarships. Overall, it's an organization and a trust that's been about 20 years old, and we work in rural Maharashtra. Out of everything else that we do there, it's a holistic model that we work with in about 2,000 villages, where outside of water, sanitation, health, and education, skill development specifically as part of our ecosystem for creating augmented livelihood is an important part. Part of the extension for us was to see how we can look at the entire overall skill development and the upgradation. Skill development for a lot of people in India obviously means at the very basic grassroots level. And I think what we will hear along with upGrad is really for what we would call, the higher skilling and making a significant change in your lives, both in terms of augmented income and in terms of the knowledge base. I think the reason we instituted this specifically at Swades was seeing the gap where professionals such as yours have either finished your undergrad or not finished your undergrad, or finished your undergrad but not done postgrad, and are now working professionals. And if you see some of the data we have of all of you all who've joined in, some of you are 1 and 2 years into your job, and some of you are as much as 5 and 10 years into the job. But I think at some stage you're looking at how what you're doing as part of your career options are going to be pretty much outdated, and how you're going to upgrade yourself. upGrad's focus is really building careers of tomorrow. And right now, the sectors that we are really focused on is almost everything to do with data and everything to do with digital. And those are wide hemispheres. And most of you all have taken courses that come under these two categories. And I think the idea for us at Swades was instituting these scholarships. One of the things I'd definitely like to say is, while we've selected you, you need to understand education is an important, but also a very relevant part of how you're going to upskill yourself. I think the very fact that we've made this course online is primarily because we know you can't take a year off or 9 months off or 12 months off or even 6 months off outside of your job to take this course. What is important for you to understand having availed of this scholarship is that for every person who's availed of it, you are in some sense have denied somebody else equally needing such a course, and for equally it would have been life-changing for them. So therefore, part of my initial address to you is to take this extremely seriously. Most people look at online as an option. Everyone looks at online as being very anonymous, and therefore, okay, let me try it out and let me see how it works. There's a sense of rigor and a drill and a discipline that comes into when you go to a campus or an offline education that doesn't come on an online. But I think what upGrad builds in is the element of active supervision, where you will experience a fair amount of value add when you do the course. So my last pitch here that I would like to say is, please take this scholarship very seriously. For us, the most important criterion, outside of the fact that at some stage when you finish the course, this is either something for you to either look at a change in your job or a promotion in your career or an increment in your career. And sometimes it may not happen immediately. It may happen after 3 months. That depends on you all and your strategy. But most important, as part of this address here before Mayank takes over and gives you much more details on the course, is really that you have been given this, and please consider that a privilege enough for you to take online education seriously, to look at this course, and the minimum we expect you to do is complete it. Okay, so with that, I'll break off and let Mayank give a few more details. If there are any questions, we'll take them at the end.
No, sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ronnie. I guess all of you guys have now gone through a bit of an application process for this particular program, and we are proud from an upGrad perspective to be partnering with Swades Foundation for launching this scholarship initiative. What we thought, so when we were thinking about this particular program with BITS Pilani, one of the key thought process was that, look, in the IT sector, things are changing very, very rapidly. Digital and data are becoming very, very relevant, and specifically the domain of big data, which forms the entire backbone of building the entire data platforms, is an area where India's demand for talent is going to be huge. We expect in the next 5 years over 100,000 jobs to be formed on the big data engineering roles itself. And that's a huge, huge upside for an industry which is going through so much of transition. And many of you have chosen the right decision at this stage of your career to actually investing in yourself and making sure that you stay relevant in the fast changing environment. While we see a lot of these sort of talent on big data looking for specific toolkits, we also realize the real crux and the real importance is to set the right foundation, because big data engineering at the end of the day is an extension of computer science engineering, and therefore you're building on to that understanding to build scale platforms in the future. And we believe that upskilling and investing for these kind of programs could be a game changer, could be a life changer for many of you. And that's the reason why we felt that, look, many of you, while looking at taking up this program, have got certain financial constraints. And as upGrad and BITS Pilani, we tend not to we never give out any discounts to the programs, and therefore we looked at institutionalizing this entire sort of scholarship initiative. And this particular program that we created with BITS Pilani, it's an 11-month-long program. It is absolutely hands-on, so you will go through about 200+ hours of hands-on coding while building different big data applications. There are going to be 4 live case studies and cases where you will work on real-time industry problems and thus be able to sort of find solutions to that. You will end up getting an alumni status from BITS Pilani, which is one of the leading institution in India and globally renowned for coming out with the best technology talent pool. And plus, we ensure that towards the end of this program, you will end up taking up a full stack big data developer role. Many of our learners have actually transitioned within their organization, as what Ronnie mentioned, and a lot of them have transitioned across different organizations, both in India, but we have seen equal amount of transition happening after doing this program to global roles as well. So all in all, we definitely feel that this program has got the right ingredient to make sure that you guys end up being successful. Very quick statistics which I just received from the team about the scholarship. I know that many of you have gone through a 40-minute plus test for this particular program. We had 3,000+ application coming for the scholarship. Of those, about 1,000+ have actually ended up taking the test. The shortlist is yet to be announced. We expect the shortlist to be in the range of about 400 to 500 individuals. 75 lakhs worth of scholarship. Each individual would end up getting scholarships to the tune of close to 1 lakh for a program which is priced at 2.35 lakh rupees. The shortlisting of those candidates will be announced today.
Sorry to interrupt. I think there's a connectivity issue.
Sorry?
There's a connectivity issue.
Okay, fair. Sorry guys, there was a connectivity issue. I'll just go back very quickly to the process that we are going to follow for the scholarship. As I mentioned earlier, there are about 3,000+ individuals who applied for the scholarship, and about 1,000+ have actually ended up taking the test. And the test, we are testing out on various sort of basic skills on coding and on basic mathematics and statistics. Post this test, close to 400 or 500 individuals will actually get shortlisted for the scholarship. We are also very clear that the scholarship is only available for 100 most relevant profiles and most relevant individuals. However, given that we are shortlisting 400 to 500, these scholarships will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis. And thus, please think very carefully that this program is going to add value to you, because if you end up taking this particular scholarship, the person who otherwise would have been more needy may not end up getting the scholarship from Swades. In total, we are giving out scholarship worth 75 lakh plus. The shortlisting of all the candidates and the shortlisting status will be announced by the end of day today. There is a scholarship worth about 1 lakh rupees for those 100 individuals. up to 1 lakh rupees for the program, which is priced at 2.35 lakh rupees. The interested candidates need to end up completing the payment schedule by 13th October, which is the outer deadline, post which Swades will transfer the money to the learners, and the rest of the formality will get covered after that. If you have any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, please reach out to the dedicated admission counselors that each one of you would have. They would be there to provide any clarification to any questions that you may have. So again, guys, I wish you best of luck. I know that a lot of you have prepared hard for taking the scholarship examination also. We look forward to having you on board in the program, and we definitely feel excited in partnering with Swades Foundation in bringing this scholarship initiative for you guys, so that you guys can invest in yourself and see the result of those investments coming in the form of betterment in your career. So with that, I'll leave it to Ronnie for any sort of last parting comments.
Yeah, no, I think just to again conclude and re-emphasize, please do take advantage of this privilege were you to get selected. I think Mayank has spelled out the numbers. We're finally giving out about 100 scholarships on an average of between 75,000 rupees per scholarship. It might vary for course to course. And finish off the test. And if not in this, maybe some of you all who didn't get selected here, hopefully in the future we'll continue with this institution of awarding deserving and candidates. And if you all are and in that category that finally do accept and move forward on this, please do complete the course. Just to clarify what first come, first serve means is that once we finish that and the 400 shortlist come, the people who first apply in and complete all the formalities required are the ones who will be defined as first come, first serve. So thank you all for your patience, for listening to us, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.